Well, this is the one, and by one, I mean Neo.
And Zion, and Morpheus, and Trinity, and the Oracle, and Nebuchadnezzar. Listen, it changed action movies. It cemented itself as one of the best of all time.
We are talking all things The Matrix on this very special episode of the Finding Good podcast with Kevin and Milton.
Yes. We're back. The Finding Good podcast. Thanks for coming by. First thing we want to do is invite you to like, subscribe, hit that bell so that every time we post a new episode, which is about once a week, you're notified. And also share us with a friend. We're trying to get the word out about what we're doing here on the Finding Good podcast. And today we're talking a classic.
I'm so excited.
Are you really?
I've seen these movies dozens of times. The nerd level is high in this room right now.
I own it on DVD. I own it on Blu-ray. I own a digital copy.
Oh wow!
I'm obsessed.
It is The Matrix. We're talking about the trilogy and maybe some of the other movies that have kind of come and gone around this.
Was there one after the trilogy?
But there was like number 4.
Was there really?
I don't know.
I think I saw it, but I forgot about it.
I missed it.
Good.
So am I really a Matrix fan?
Yes.
Can I do this episode without seeing number 4?
Yes, you can.
All right. There's also like animation and comic books.
It's great.
There's all that. You can deep dive pretty good in this. But,
Yeah, it's a good one.
But yeah, we're here.
So 1999,
Okay.
this movie comes out.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember seeing the trailer.
Okay.
Okay, and that one classic scene of Trinity jumping from one building to the other, and just like, and I looked at that and I said, what am I watching? What is this movie about? And me being a religious guy, I'm like, is this like about demon hunters, or is it because there was some gun shooting? Is it about vampires? Like, what is going on? And then I go see this sucker.
In the theater. Did you see it in the theater? I never saw it in the theater.
And I'm like, favorite movie of all time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what am I watching here?
It was incredible.
It was, and I would say, just thinking back to that day, those days, just the of course the movie was great, just the way it was done, the technology, all of that, but also the marketing.
Oh yeah.
The music, I don't know if they could have done it any better, honestly. I don't know if they could have done it because they got me hooked and I was ready for the next one the minute this one was over.
They could have done 3 a little better.
Okay. I mean, listen, like they can't hit a home run every time, but look, it was a home run, it was a triple, and it was a double.
And it was a satisfying ending.
For sure. And then 4 came. And whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
So, okay, thinking back to this movie, and we are going to get into some of the deeper stuff, but we want to nerd out a little bit first. Because,
yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we can't. That was a high request. Like, we're not going to go right into the theme, right?
And some people watching may be thinking, like, why are they going back to a movie from 1999 and the subsequent? Well, we realized that sometimes there aren't a lot of good movies out. So we thought, like, let's hit some of the classics on some of these dead seasons. So we thought Matrix definitely is one. So tell me, what was your favorite scene from this movie?
Hands down. I will watch this movie and fast forward and just watch this scene.
Okay.
When I'm bored.
Okay.
It is the freeway scene in number 2.
Oh, the freeway scene.
It is about 14 minutes long.
It's crazy.
And you know what I love about it is that they literally built a freeway out in the middle of nowhere.
Did they? I didn't know that.
To film this. So so it was its own freeway in the middle of the desert. And of course, half the cars are not even real. They're inserting those after the fact. But that is such a high octane, non-stop, and 14 minutes long. I don't know if it might be 18 minutes, maybe 22. I don't know. It's a long segment. Yeah. But I will literally just watch that action scene and be like, I'm good for the day.
Yeah. We asked our producer Grady what his favorite scene, and his is when Neo fights. I forget the character's name, but the Oracle had an assistant. It was an Asian guy, and they had to fight each other to determine if it was really them. That's in episode 3, was it? Was that 3 or 2? I don't remember. But anyway, so that's Grady's favorite scene. My favorite scene is the end of 1, near the end of 1, where Neo decides that he's going to go save Morpheus in the military facility.
Okay,
and they walk through
he's being held.
Yeah.
Yep.
And him and Trinity walk through the metal detectors, and the guy's like, obviously the metal detectors go off because he's carrying an armory.
Do you have any metal?
Do you have any metal on him? And he opens up his shirt, and the fight begins, and the music, and the slow motion, and just everything. So we've given Grady 3 possible scenes that he can cut into the episode right now. I don't know if he will, but if he does, great. You'll see that scene, and if not, we'll just keep talking.
Sounds good. I think the cautionary tale of showing any scenes from The Matrix is a hard R.
Oh, right. Forgot about that. Yeah. Never mind, Grady.
So we might not be getting to any of those. But yeah, I mean. The marketing is one thing that also made The Matrix huge. You had like whatisthematrix.com. Everybody was trying to figure out what is this and what are you doing. It was really one of the first movies, because it came out in '99, right around the internet even coming online and exploding. They utilized that, was one of the first movie marketing campaigns that used the internet to discover what the movie was.
Right. So well done, and I just the things we saw in this movie were so groundbreaking. The most action movies before this time are about quick cuts, so you can't really see the fake punches and and getting the angles right. And this movie decided, the Wachowski brothers decided, we're going to go in the opposite direction. At the time, yes. We're going to go in the complete opposite direction. We're going to slow this thing down, and we're going to show you something you've never seen before. And they have, if you ever watch any of these documentaries behind the scenes, they have these, hundreds of cameras, or I don't know how many, but and how they're filming this, and they can. It seems like you're immersed completely in the fight, and you're seeing it from all the angles, and then if you look at action movies from that point on, they all said like, "Oh, nice,
we got
that's the way we're gonna do it from now on." And now you're starting to see a lot more of that, and I think it just changed filmmaking.
Absolutely groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Bullet time. Bullet time? That didn't exist. Nobody had seen bullet time before. It was like mind blown, going backwards and doing the limbo around bullets flying through the air. It was pretty awesome.
So good. So let's talk about, this movie can say a lot. I mean, it's 4 movies, and each movie has its own little message, but in the end, I think it's an interesting thing that this movie did. It's 1999, and it tells us about a world where all of us are plugged into this world, a fake world, to control us. And the only way to gain freedom from this world is to unplug. And to get the truth of what we're all actually living in is we have to unplug. And it was interesting. Grady was the one who brought this up. Was this a prophetic movie?
Was it because this was really before social media? This was before cell phone, or smartphones.
Yeah,
it was before any of that.
Yeah, and when he said that, I'm like, what?
I want to go watch the movie again.
What? So the movie is telling us, if you want to know what's really happening in your life, you got to unplug. And we are a society that's doing the complete opposite of that. We're all plugging in more and more and more.
Yes.
And I wonder, and I'm not sure if all of us think that's a bad thing. And is it a bad thing? Because I'm not sure myself.
Well, I am.
Well, wait a second. Hold on, you can't be.
No?
You're not allowed to be.
Oh.
Because we are filming a podcast that will soon be online.
Yes.
And we're asking people to plug in to watch what we're saying about unplugging.
It's very true.
So what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's a kind of an infinite loop. It really is.
So I don't know. This is a strange reality, and I'm not sure where I'm supposed to live in this thing.
Well, I do think there is a movement, and it's new from what I'm seeing and feeling. This movement to, I think the tipping point is reached.
Okay.
And I'm talking about mass society, right? I mean, in this conversation, you have to generalize.
Absolutely.
It's obviously an individual journey for everybody. But I think overall, I'm getting a sense that we're all a little fed up and have been for a while. But it's so ingrained into our lives that I feel like we're in management mode now.
Okay.
It's like, we're not going to eliminate this.
We're not unplugging the internet.
No, the internet is not going to shut down.
Is there just one plug for the...
I hope not.
I always imagine that.
Is it like in Al Gore's house?
Why Al Gore?
Didn't he make the internet? Didn't he invent the internet?
Oh, I thought it would be like at Elon Musk's house or something.
I don't know.
I don't know this huge plug. He's just like yank, and everything goes down.
How big is that plug?
It's got to be big, yeah.
And then Starlink comes on, and Skynet takes over. That's a different movie.
Oh, we could do that one.
Terminator, yeah.
Terminator.
Okay. Anyway, it's very easy to get off tangent with this movie. But I think we're in management mode now. It's just something that we're living with. It's ingrained in all of us.
Yeah.
It's how we interact and connect and learn. Our kids, it's like, that's what I hated about COVID. Like, we have worked incredibly hard in our household to remove electronics.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, and our school districts are literally handing our kids free laptops. Here you go. Take this into your bedroom and study school. And we're like, dang it, society.
Yeah.
We work so hard.
Foiled again.
And so it's just one more device to manage. But as adults, you know, as kids, you have adults doing it for it. But I feel like I need an adult to manage my media time. I don't know how to do it well.
Yeah.
And I pendulum shift a lot.
Right.
Of like, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. I don't know what's going on, and I'm like FOMO times 80, and mass consumption. To like, I can't stand it. I'm unplugging the internet.
Yeah.
Which never works.
Right. And I hear about some guys. I heard a podcast the other day that when he goes on vacation, like he goes on a vacation, he'll delete.
What's that?
So, well, of course he doesn't work, but then he also tries to completely disconnect from the world if he can, and he deletes every social media app from his phone. The minute he said that, the level of anxiety that rose up inside of me was tangible.
Wow,
I'm like, think that I would delete Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter,
right.
All these things from my phone. And then after my vacation, have to put them all back again and put all the passwords in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I am not doing that. I would rather just leave my phone. No, I'm not doing that either. So it's impossible. It can't be done.
I'll tell a great story was when I went camping, and I've never been around a lot of guys who go camping. And so I had a guy from church going, hey, we're going to do a guys camping weekend.
Okay.
And you should come. And I'm like, okay, I've got a tent and that's about it. But yeah, I'll come. And I remember it was about 6 years ago. I remember the first day was what I could assume would be coming off drugs, what it would be like. Mm-hmm. It was a total detox from my phone, which turned into a brick up in the mountains. I probably looked at that thing, I'm not kidding, Milton, like 80 times.
Wow.
And every time I got more and more ticked off.
You've got a problem.
This thing is not working. This thing is not working. This thing is still not working. And like I felt disconnected. I felt like totally abandoned, like I'm alone.
Yeah.
And then day 2 came, and it was kind of a calm. It was like, oh, okay. I actually like this.
Okay.
This is actually good.
That's good.
And by the end of the camping trip, I was okay with it.
Yeah.
It's a detox. Like, it's an addiction. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but at the same time, Kevin, like, you're right. Like, it does have this effect on us, and most of the time it's not that great. But we have to recognize the power of this tool, because it is a tool, I think. And
there's a lot of tools in it.
Yeah, right. It's an opportunity, right? It is neutral until you wield it. And then you have to decide, are you going to use it for good or for bad? And my wife is starting a business, and a large part of her business is going to be a social media, presence. We work for a media company. Hello? Right. And by the way, why are you wearing that shirt? What is that about?
Well, I know this is
That's not...
Well, we did an extra episode, and I couldn't find any other shirts. So KTSY is a partner station of Project. And so I just, you represent all your hats when you work in radio.
No, you don't.
You saw.
Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but
it's hot in here.
we're in a media company.
Right. Yeah.
We are putting content out, like this podcast and social media posts. We have concerts, and we want people to know about the concerts. We want people to come because at the concert, good things are happening. Like, we're encouraging people to grow and to connect, and awesome things are happening. So we have this tool, the internet, social media, all these things, and we're wielding it hopefully for good. So I use it for my church, right? I'm putting out pieces of my sermon to try to see if I can inspire someone, and maybe they can come to church and find their purpose, find God, all these great things. So there is a great part of this thing of plugging in.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're also recognizing that your congregation is there, the community is there. This is where we all are. So this is how we communicate. Funny story about media.
Okay.
So about 3.5 months ago or so, I took a job here. I accepted a job with Project as the digital director. Very excited, humbled to be working in that capacity.
Yeah.
About 2 months before that, I made the personal decision to get rid of social media on my phone. So as you talk about the anxiety of that, I had gone through that and was comfortable. I was living comfortable with not having any social media on my phone. It's fantastic. I had detoxed for 2 months. And then I get the job as the digital director. And the job is to take our brands to social. And so I literally day one had to install all these, and I felt kind of shamed. I'm getting back into it. Get back in. And then I had to start TikTok, which I've avoided for my whole life.
Yeah.
And so we started TikTok. And part of me was like, is this good as a media company that we are encouraging people to go to these channels and engage with us, if we're recognizing also they aren't necessarily good? It's this weird place we've got to live in.
Yeah. I've always believed as a pastor that we need to be in the places where evil is winning. And what do I mean by that?
Ooh, okay.
Okay. Say Hollywood. If you were to say to Hollywood, like, you would look at that world, and relationships are breaking up, and some of the things movies are about and they show us are just awful and disgusting and everything. And it's like, well, those people there, they need something good in their lives, right?
Yeah.
So how is that going to happen if we never insert ourselves? Now, does it mean that everybody needs to do that work? Everybody needs to do that ministry? No, of course. If that's an area of weakness for you, you should. If you struggle with alcohol, you shouldn't go to the bars to try to win people. If you struggle with pornography, you shouldn't go into the strip clubs or into that world to win those people over.
Right, yeah.
And it is risky, no matter what. Even if you are a very strong Christian, it's always risky to put yourself out there.
Sure.
But isn't that what Jesus did? He went where the trouble was, right? So I always believed that we should be sending missionaries to Hollywood. We should be sending missionaries to Nashville. We should be sending missionaries to wherever all the bad stuff is happening.
100%.
Right? So that's what we're doing in the digital world. We're going where the bad is happening and hopefully overwhelming it with good.
Insert in some good.
Yeah.
Or encouraging.
Or just living out our faith in front of people who have never seen that kind of faith before.
No,
that
I
kind
like
of lifestyle.
That. And that is purposeful. So that I think it gives purpose to the tool.
Yeah.
Versus I'm just going to check out and do this. I went in the other day, Milton, to my daughter, who we have kept from social media, and she was doing this on her phone. And that's the social media scroll.
Right.
And I lost it. I'm like, what? Hey, hello. Yep.
Okay.
And she's calling me right now to say, Dad, quit talking about me on the podcast. But
I hope our producer can edit that out.
Oh, probably not. But Kennedy was just like going like this and scrolling. I'm like, you know what? We're not going to do that motion yet. Like, we're going to go ahead and tuck that away. And it was YouTube Shorts. Is what she had found, which is fine. We had a really good conversation about it.
That's good.
I mean, you try to balance this, but that's the challenge. Plugging into the matrix to do some good, but also plugging out of the matrix to do some good. Both the directions have some value.
And I guess for us as individuals, the hard work of figuring out when it's crossed the line for us on a personal level, and then knowing how to pull back.
So what's that line for you?
I think one line for sure is if the attention that I'm giving this thing, whatever social media platform it is causing me to lose opportunities in some valuable places like my family, like my work, my mission, my purpose in life. If I start seeing that it's pulling me away from those things, it's probably at a place where I have to say, okay, it's time to unplug this thing for a while, get back, get refocused, and then when I'm in a place where I have that margin again, that space, okay, I can revisit it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple lines for me are just, I have to really, and I know it's a buzzword and a trendy and all that, but I really have to watch my mental health, my mental capacity to consume things like news and just what people are talking about and the back and forth conversations and comments. And when I start getting all agitated about the world, I know that I have kind of opened the window a little bit too much, and I've got to close the window. I've got to delete the apps for a little bit and just kind of check out. So that's definitely a warning sign for me.
Yeah. I think another one would be, and I think this is one God gives us, is that, whatever is good, whatever is pure, whatever is of good report, we have that instruction in Scripture. So focus on those things. And like you said, if you find yourself becoming angry, agitated, struggling, negative, you're probably not focusing on what's out there that's good. And find those things. If you're laughing, if you're in a good space, if you feel fulfilled, if you feel like, oh man, life is good right now, those are the things you should, follow those TikTokers, and not the ones that just send you down a path of like, oh, I can't believe what the government's doing right now. Oh my goodness, and breaking your phone because you're scrolling so fast. Yeah.
The aimless hunt is kind of my final one. Just when you really have nothing you're looking for, and it's just like the aimless scroll, and that can also get you in a lot of corners and a lot of trouble fast. I've found. Yeah. So have purpose and why you're going to it and what you're letting in.
Now you were online, and you were searching an alternative.
Oh yeah.
To these smartphones,
right? Yeah.
And you found something like
there,
what was it?
I was watching something somewhere at some point. And they had the founder and CEO of a company who were making dumb smartphones, which is kind of it's kind of starting to be a trend right now.
Dumb
smartphones. These are like Android phones, full screen.
Well, that's a problem right there.
I know.
Start right there.
I'm already out. Apple's too smart to make a dumb smartphone. But they were basic, and so all text based, no icons.
Okay.
And they had your basic stuff, so you could still take a camera, you could still take a photo and record video, and still do texting, maps, and what else is pretty essential? You're like all the things.
Candy Crush?
There's no
What?
Candy Crush.
Okay, I'm out. Never mind. Nice commercial. Not buying. Sorry.
But I mean, if you think about it, if you were to delete all the apps on your phone,
Yes.
you would still find use for it. I mean, I don't know how I could drive anywhere, even in the Treasure Valley, without GPS.
Absolutely.
Couldn't do it.
Nope.
I don't know how my parents took out foldable maps, and I remember them doing this and highlighting areas around town, not even on vacations, in town. Like, shoot me now. If I have to ever unfold or pull over and unfold a map to try to find my way anywhere, I need to be, Jesus needs to come back.
And by the way, those maps are impossible to fold back to what they were.
Right.
You're just scrunching that thing up and throwing it in the trunk, let me tell you.
So I think GPS, pretty essential.
Yeah.
And then photos. I mean, obviously you want to, take your 3,422 photos of the basketball game at night. You have to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely some essential tools.
Yeah.
Is Angry Birds an essential tool?
Not
Milton?
anymore, but I have to play Marvel Strike Force on my phone.
Are you still playing Candy Crush? What level are you on? You must be on 2,400.
Oh yeah. Oh, way beyond that. Come on. What do you?
Candy Crush.
Come on. So, but I think in the end, it's all about, understanding yourself and knowing when you got too far and deciding for yourself, like, I do need to I have purpose in my life. I want to accomplish it, and anything, whether it's a phone or a relationship or a habit or a job, even you could read the wrong things. You could watch the wrong things on TV. There's so many things that can get in the way of purpose, and we can't allow, whether it's a device or a relationship, we can't let those things get in the way of what we were meant to be, who we were meant to be. So I'd encourage anybody who's listening to us, find those moments of unplugging. I know we sound like old dudes, old fogies, but we're not, we see the power in the tool. We want to use it for good, but we also have to make sure that we don't get hurt in the process.
Sure. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all we have for this episode. It's The Matrix. Somehow we got there.
Yeah.
In that storyline. But
I think I'm going to watch it this weekend.
I think that'll be a good use of your time.
Thank you, sir.
Another good use of your time, subscribe, ring that bell. Mm-hmm. And we want to make sure you get new episodes of the Finding Good podcast. Kevin here with Project 88.7 and Milton signing off. Take care.